Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Thursday, January 26, 2017, and here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, yesterday that Dow, boop, over 20,000. So today, over there in Asia, everything was up. Over there in Europe, beep, FTSE and CAC down a little bit, DAX up. Here in the States, boop, Dow back up, NASDAQ down a little bit, oil, boop, up a little bit, gold is down. So what's going on? U.S. equities closed mixed on Thursday after hitting new record highs. 30% of S&P 500 companies, this is the big deal, had reported quarterly earnings as of Thursday morning, with 70% exceeding analysts' expectations. Quote, "We have reached the heart of the Q4 earnings seasons. The deluge of releases from the next 2 weeks will confirm whether the final 3 months of 2016 marked a disappointment for companies on a relative basis," said Jeremy Klein, chief market strategist of FBN Securities. But when we look at other data beyond earnings, the U.S. IHS Market Service PMI showed the sector expanded at its fastest pace since 2015, hitting 55.1 from 53.9. Anecdotal evidence suggested that stronger domestic demand and improving business confidence has led to a robust rise in service sector activity at the start of 2017. New home sales, on the other hand, they're down over 10.4%. And remember, a number over 50 is growth, under 50 is contraction. So 55.1 on the service sector is pretty strong. And new home sales, they're a smaller portion of existing home sales. So we will see what will happen as these interest rates continue to rise. And talking about rising, those oil prices again went up a little bit. Oil prices were driven 2% higher by an ongoing rally in U.S. stock market on Thursday, although gains were capped by plentiful supplies and bulging inventories of spite of efforts by producers to cut output. So again, they're talking the market up. The real facts don't weigh. As a matter of fact, here, this is from today's Financial Times. BP, British Petroleum, says long glut will stifle oil prices. Hey, we've been saying this for about a year now. The world is facing a long-term oil glut as producers scramble to exploit reserves before fossil fuel demand goes into decline, according to BP assessment that suggests oil companies should brace themselves for prolonged pressure from low prices. And we agree. That's our forecast, and we're sticking to it, as we're sticking for the one with gold. We said the upside is limited, the downside is too. We see it going down. It could go below 11,000. We don't think so, but it could. So gold slides to 2-week low as dollar rises. Well, again, U.S. rates are going up, so buy dollar and sell yen. Bank of America. Bank of America Merrill Lynch is tipping 5-year real rates to rise in the United States and says buying the dollar at the expense of the yen is the best trade to make a profit. We believe the dollar is going to go up too. But we also look at gold in a broader sense. It's not only America. Again, you know the deal. We've talked about it over and over, long before anyone else. But here is a big story today from the Wall Street Journal. Emerging markets hustle to sell debt. Countries uneasy over outlook of higher U.S. rates and the fallout of Trump policies. And it goes on in here to say it that The majority of this debt was sold in dollars, widening the investor base by offering more liquid bonds than those sold in local currencies. But dollar-denominated debt poses risks too. Yes, yes, yes. And that's why you read history before it happens right here. It Trends in the News, Trends Journal, Trends Monthly, and Trend Alerts. Emerging markets hustle to sell debt. Yep, goes on and on. The majority of this debt was sold in dollars, widening the investor base by offering more liquid bonds than those sold in local currencies. But dollar-denominated debt poses risks too if the U.S. currency keeps rallying. That makes it more expensive for governments to pay back obligations. Not only more expensive for governments to pay back obligations, all those corporations got to pay back them obligations too. So, going back, yes, gold is going to be weak as the dollar gets stronger, but it's a global scene, and we got big global problems because of all that global debt. Here we go. Resurgent appetite for risk has fragile economic foundation. It's hard to explain this with economic fundamentals. They've improved since Donald Trump's improbable election victory in November, but not by much. And they talk about how weak the economy really is, which is why we were negative with a Clinton victory, but more positive with a Trump victory. They call it an improbable election, but you know we forecast it in the spring edition of 2016 Trends Journal. It's in print. And we forecast it into July as well. So, debt. And of course, the markets are fearful. Free traders fear return of protectionist war. The Smoot-Hawley is on people's lips, shows the depths of concern among many Republicans about the threat of a global economy from Mr. Trump's vow to pursue an America First trade policy. By contrast, some of the loudest applause is coming from Democrats. This is not Smoot-Hawley. This is not the 1930s. They're going to make deals. And it's ironic, the Democrats are finally now behind this. Some of them are. And another big story here, Japan fears trade wars as U.S. rejects Pacific Pact. Again, the Pacific Pact, which Obama called one of the most progressive trade deals in history, was no trade deal at all. It sold us out our sovereign rights to foreign companies. And you're going to see China picking up the slack on this trade deal and make their own, which will really be a trade deal. Big story here. Make robots great again. The U.S. invented industrial automation, but China has pulled ahead, reclaiming the lead. Can put America back to work. Robotics. China. Your Trends Journal. And Israel moves to decriminalize marijuana use. Big story today out of Israel. So we have robots, marijuana, and your Trends Monthly. Your Trends Monthly. Here it is. Click on and get it. If you haven't gotten the email, you should have, but click on right on the page over here, and you can access it. Legal pot is 1930s deja vu. Yep, and we go to robots, rent the robot business. Is it ready to take off? Story after story. Curing antibiotic resistance. Subprime auto loans in danger. Here's what you need to know. Fourth Estate is on the ropes. Can it be saved? One trend story after another. More bang for your buck. Yeah, as the New York Times, the Toilet Paper Record, and all these other newspapers, the Wall Street Journal, they keep raising the price and giving you less. We have not changed the price of the Trends Journal since 1991. And we give you a lot more. It used to be an 8-page newsletter. Now it's in the 50 pages. And we didn't have a trend alert. We didn't have Trends Monthlies. We didn't have Trends in the News. Same price, much, much more, and history before it happens. Bill would restrict U.S. nuclear first strike. Newly introduced this week in both House and Senate, a new bill sponsored by congressional Democrats would restrict the ability of the United States to launch nuclear strikes, forbidding a sitting president to unilaterally order such strikes without congressional declaration of war. Hey, how come you Democrats didn't do it under Obama? I'll tell you why. Because you're a bunch of little cowards. That's right. And again, I'm all in favor of this. I don't want nuclear war, no way, no how, because it's the end of life as we know it. So, the legislation is seen unlikely to pass in a Republican-dominated Congress. The question of a policy not to strike first with nuclear weapons has been a contentious one, with President Obama considering a pledge not to do so at all, and several more hawkish cabinet members warning it would be a sign of weakness. Yeah, but you forgot that, right? Yeah. And more war. U.S. strikes al-Qaeda in Yemen on first 3 days of Trump presidency. I read one day yesterday. This is from military.com. More war, not a lot changing, but some things are. Iran, Russia, and Turkey agreed to enforce ceasefire with few details, says the toilet paper record, in Syria. Yep. Remember, Obama said Russia was going to be bogged down over there. We spent over $1 billion. What happened to them moderate rebels? Yeah, al-Qaeda's wiping them out. Latest word. And so rather than pumping up peace, they make it sound insignificant. UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said Britain has changed its stance and now believes Syrian President Bashar al-Assad could potentially be allowed to run for president if there was a peaceful settlement to the conflict. Quote, "It is our view that Bashar al-Assad should go. It's been our long-standing position." Hey, look at this little jerk. Look at this little man of nothing. Look at this little cowardly little freak. It's our position. Hey, little boy, go over there and fight. Stop shooting off your stupid little mouth, and you prostitutes should call these little clowns out. But I forgot, you're prostitutes. You get paid to put out. You get paid to put out crap from a little clown of a man like this. Yeah, let me keep reading. But we are open-minded about how that happens and the time scale on which that happens, Johnson told the Lords International Relations Committee. The Lords, here's to your Lord crap. I'm tired of your sus shit and your Lord crap and little jerks like you. England, mind your own damn business. You shouldn't be in Syria. I know the sun never rises on the British Empire. Can't get that trip out of your mind. Any man, any woman that calls to take out another leader, send yourself, send your wife, send your kids, and send your money, or shut your mouth. Who could listen to a little clown of a jerk-off? Oh, no, I got to be proper. He's English. A wanker like Boris Johnson. The stupid media, that's who. Fake news for a little fake fraud. And let me continue. Talking about fake news, fake frauds, and toilet paper. Look at this in the New York Slime today. An inside look at the war on ISIS in Iraq. Oh, they make it look nice. A war on ISIS in Iraq. But when it's a war on ISIS in Aleppo, and this is Mosul, then it's different pictures. Look at the difference of the propaganda. Look how they make this. Oh, they got a troop over there. They're fighting ISIS on this picture. But they got dying little kids when it's Aleppo. They don't mention ISIS because they're frauds and they're destroying humanity. They're starting wars and sow hate. And that's why you should subscribe to the Trends Journal and tell your friends too. It's history before it happens and the truth in trends. Libya's renegade general risks rekindling civil war. Civil War? Who started the war? Why don't you guys write about that? Oh, and all you women's that were marching, you forgot about that one too. Hillary Clinton, that's right, Samantha Rice. Susan Power. If only women's were in charge. And Barack B.S. Obama. Another piece of crap news. West fears push by Haftar's Russian-backed army will wreck UN Accord. The place is a hellhole. There is no accord. There's only murder caused by the United States of America, and they should bring up all the people that I mentioned, along with the Bushes, the Cheneys, the Rumsfelds, and the little Colin Powell that crap feeds through the colon on war crimes for the hate, destruction, and murder of innocent people around the world. But it won't happen. No, because it's all a bad show. Morality is gone. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.